Now, the quadratic formula will allow you to solve any quadratic equation by identifying the coefficients of each term from a quadratic equation and substituting it into a formula. So here's the quadratic formula. First, it says that if you have an equation, a quadratic equation, one that has an x squared, and if you have it written so that you have your terms in descending order and it's equal to 0, then you can get the solutions by identifying the coefficients of the x squared term, a, of the x term, b, and of the constant term, c, and substituting them into the formula. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So let's look at one example. Okay, we're going to solve 4x squared minus 6x equals 3 by using the quadratic formula. So remember that the quadratic formula is used only when the equation is equal to 0. So I'm going to start by bringing this 3 over to the left side of the equation. That's going to make it negative 3. And then I'll identify the a, b, and c. A, b, and c are the coefficients of each term. A is 4, b is negative 6, c is negative 3. Don't forget the negative if your term is negative. And then substitute it into the formula. So let me, I'll just read the formula for you. So the formula is x equals negative b. If b is negative 6, then negative b is going to be 6, plus or minus the square root of b squared, again b is negative 6 squared, minus 4ac. So minus 4 times a, that's 4, times c, negative 3, all over 2 times a, 2 times 4. Okay, the nice thing about the quadratic formula is that now you really don't have something that's algebraic. You're left with an expression that only contains numbers, and you can simplify by using the order of operations. So 6 is simplified. So underneath the radical, you want to simplify everything before you try and take the square root. So under the radical, we have negative 6 squared. That's going to give us 36. And you have negative 4 times 4, that's negative 16, times negative 3. So negative times negative is going to give you a positive, and 16 times 3 is 48. In the denominator, you have 2 times 4, 8. Okay, so next you want to add the 36 and the 48. When you add those, you get 84. That's right here. And then look at the square root to see if you can simplify it. Now, 84 isn't a perfect square, but 84 does have a factor that's a perfect square. 84 is divisible by 4, and so you can write the square root of 84 as the square root of 4 times the square root of 21. 4 times 21 is 84. And the square root of 4 is 2, so we get 6 plus or minus 2 square root of 21 over 8. And then notice that here you can reduce. You can reduce a fraction as long as, here we have 3 terms, 6, 2 square root of 21, and 8. And all three terms have a common factor of 2. 2 divides into 6 3 times, 2 divides into 2 1 time, and 2 divides into 8 4 times. So you can reduce that fraction by 2. There it is. And when you reduce by 2, you're left with 3 plus or minus the square root of 21 over 4. And that's your answer. You can leave your answer in that form.